People are losing their minds after the Diddy party guest list has been revealed, and people seeing some of their favorite celebrities on the list.
Like, there's no one who's been arrested that she's trafficked to.
And that's what Aaron's saying.
Well, there's a list that's out. Who knows if it's fake? I don't know. It could be a fake list.
I think he's gonna sing. I think
he has to sing or he
Bro,
goes to
also,
jail
I'll tell
for
you
the
one
rest of his
thing.
life.
God protects me. I'm so glad God protects me.
When we will name names other than Sean Combs, and there's a lot of names. It's a long list already. And of course, I already know who some of these individuals are, but because of the nature of this case, we're gonna make damn sure that we're right before we do that.
As Diddy's alleged deeds keep expanding, more of Hollywood's biggest names appear to be getting sucked in, and Joe Rogan is getting to the bottom of it. You've heard about the popular celebrities involved, but what about the ones behind the scenes that don't always pop up on our screens? In this video, we'll discuss Joe Rogan's speculations, but later on, we're diving into A-list celebrities that have been involved with Diddy in the past. So sit back and relax, let's give you the tea. In a recent episode of his podcast, Rogan went full detective, asking a question on everyone's mind. Why hasn't anyone on the Epstein list been thrown in jail yet? Like, come on! Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's partner in crime, is already serving time for trafficking, but the clients? They're just living it up without a care in the world. There's apparently a whole list of names, but it's like federal agents have decided to just ignore it. In another video, Joe Rogan discussed with MMA fighter Israel Adesanya, and the two wondered what happened to the Epstein's list and said the whole world was conveniently distracted by the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's case at that time.
Traffic them to these rich oligarchs and whatnot. And I was like, what happened to them? What happens to those people? Where's the list?
Yeah.
And then I didn't think anything of it, but then it went viral.
It's like busting a drug dealer, throwing them behind bars, and then giving their best customers a free pass. Make it make sense. All of us are wondering why these VIPs are still flying under the radar while their connect is locked up. Seems like the more powerful you are, the tighter your safety net is. Now he is comparing the Diddy situation with the Epstein case.
The rumors are that Diddy was running some kind of Epstein type deal where he was filming everybody.
What do you think? Will Diddy's guests be arrested as well? Or will they go free like Epstein's guests even after throwing parties where a lot of nasty deeds went down? Regardless, Diddy is now facing federal criminal charges for trafficking, among other things.
The business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice.
Everyone's been comparing notes and tossing speculation around about who attended Diddy's freak-offs and participated in orgies. But another interesting question is, who are the people who enabled him and, in a sense, created him? Diddy is notorious for forging ties with up-and-coming stars across the industry. We saw this with Usher and Justin Bieber, and since the charges came to light, everyone's been wondering whether his relationships with these mentees were abusive. Usher was only 13 when he went to live with Diddy and may have been exposed to the freak-offs. While we have video evidence of Bieber being visibly uncomfortable, stuttering and fidgeting while in conversation with Diddy, who's pressing into why the 16-year-old hasn't been talking to him.
Starting to act different, huh? You ain't been calling me and hanging out the way we used to hang out.
Well, I mean, you try to get in contact with me, through all my, partners and whatnot. Mm-hmm. But you never really got my number, so.
Correct. Okay.
My number?
Fans are speculating that Diddy would get a lawsuit from Justin Bieber, but it seems like the musician is just focusing on raising his baby and making music. According to a source who spoke to Us Weekly, he wants nothing to do with the Diddy case and is looking out for his own well-being. Justin wants to protect himself because his PR team has told him that it's in his best interest to be removed from this scandal. He isn't the first person that Diddy got connected to through the whole mentor-mentee disguise. Even Diddy's ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura was only 19 when they first met, while Diddy was nearly 40 years old. Before their relationship started, however, Cassie claims he offered to mentor her and began to love bomb her in the early stages of their relationship, gradually turning more abusive. Sound familiar? Cassie later came forward with a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of physical abuse, trafficking, and assault. Here's where things really start to get interesting though. What if this pattern of behavior is Diddy's favorite because someone did it to him first? Now, we're getting into celebrities who have been involved with Diddy. First, let's talk about Clive Davis. who some have described as the monster behind P. Diddy. For every Chappelle Roan and Sabrina Carpenter who takes the music world by storm, there are countless other young talented people hoping to make their dreams come true. Somehow, Diddy pulled it off in the early 90s, exploding onto the music scene as an artist and producer who not only became famous, but had the power and influence to pull the necessary strings to make other people famous. And guess who was by his side throughout this rise to power? Media mogul Clive Davis. On the outside, he's the man responsible for the rise of acts like Whitney Houston and Alicia Keys, winning multiple Grammys and being inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
People in the music industry really don't like Clive Davis, most of them. And his criminality is kind of amazing.
It's not just his criminality that's questionable. His mentor-mentee relationship with Diddy hints at something nastier. Back in the 90s, Diddy was looking for a big break after he got kicked out of Uptown Records. Enter Clive Davis, who not only believed in Diddy's vision for Bad Boy Records, but also took him under his wing, mentoring him and funding his projects. However, rumor has it that Diddy had to get on his knees to win favors from Clive, who is openly bisexual.
I opened myself up to the possibility that I could have a relationship with a man.
And let's not forget that for years there's been endless chatter and speculation about Diddy's sexuality, with various conspiracy theories swirling around. Many people have claimed that he's secretly gay or bisexual, and he hosts his freak-offs with other male celebrities. People like Suge Knight have even come forward with allegations that Clive and Diddy were lovers. On an episode of his podcast, Collect Call with Suge Knight, Suge shared a jaw-dropping story that has fans and industry insiders buzzing. It all goes back to a meeting Suge had at the Westwood Interscope offices with legendary music executive Jimmy Iovine. Suge recalls Jimmy casually mentioning that Clive Davis and Diddy were real tight.
Jimmy said, man, I'm here because Clive Davis called me and him and Puffy is real tight and, lovers. So I thought he was talking like they got love for each other.
Now, some might think this meant that Clive and Diddy had a strong friendship or professional relationship. But then, Jimmy takes it a step further, calling them lovers and mentioning that Clive did not want anything happening to Diddy. This supports many theories that claim that Diddy had someone more powerful backing him in the music industry. That's why he was able to get away with so much for decades. There might be some meat to this story though. Clive has opened up about having secret relationships with two men, a doctor for 13 years, and another man he refused to give any more information about. I wonder who that could be. But as we said, it gets darker. Rumors have long circulated that Clive has been luring young male artists into compromising situations, offering them a tantalizing taste of fame in exchange for much more than just talent. Picture this: ambitious musicians, eager for their big break, caught in a web of promises, with Clive dangling record deals like a carrot in front of a rabbit. Diddy may have found himself as Clive Davis's boy toy, and later extended that same courtesy to others. So many stories of Diddy portray him as power mad and obsessed with control. Jaguar Wright claims that a young attorney who needed paperwork for a deal between Diddy and an upcoming singer named Christopher Williams walked into Diddy's office once to find Williams performing oral on the rapper. According to Jaguar, it's not even about Diddy's sexuality anymore. It's about control at the deepest level.
I honestly think he's just an extreme narcissist who loves power. He loves the ability to manipulate and control people.
Whatever may have happened between them, Clive Davis, like many others, is now distancing himself from Diddy. When asked about his thoughts on the situation with Diddy, Clive claimed not to know who Diddy was.
Sean Puffy Combs, do you have anything to say about that situation?
Nope.
Nothing? Anything to say about Puffy? A lot of people are curious about the status of P. Diddy.
Status of what?
P. Diddy. Diddy.
Like Puffy.
Right, sure thing, Clive. I guess you don't remember this photo either. Well, it's not much of a surprise that Clive is denying knowing Diddy. After all, if he taught him everything he knows, he's probably the best in the game. Way before his downfall, whenever anyone accused Diddy of something, his legal and PR team found ways to deny it and dance circles around the situation. Now, Clive may be doing the same. removing himself from the Diddy debacle by claiming not to even know his once protege. Sucks to be you, Diddy. But on the bright side, as bright as it can get now that is, there's one or two people who seem to have some faith that Diddy's gonna wriggle his way out of this one. Earlier this year, Diddy found himself in hot water after a dramatic raid on his mansions and homes. Things seemed to be dicey for Diddy, and in true Hollywood fashion, most A-listers were starting to back away from him. However, Russell Simmons, founder of Def Jam Recordings, decided to step into the fray, defending his longtime friend in a live Instagram session. Russell had a lot to say about how wrong it is to celebrate someone's downfall, but who's gonna listen to someone with a history so similar to Diddy's? Just like with Diddy, multiple women have accused Simmons of misconduct. He has been firmly denying these allegations, but has been living in Bali for a while, as far as he can get from the limelight and the mounting legal troubles back in the States. Some speculate he chose Bali strategically, knowing the country lacks an extradition treaty with the US, allowing him to escape potential consequences. However, the legal drama didn't stop there. Even from abroad, Russell was hit with a defamation lawsuit from one of his accusers. The timing couldn't be more ironic, considering it coincided with Diddy facing his allegations. Interestingly, Diddy's former bodyguard Gene Deal claims he saw Diddy transform under Russell's influence, adopting a more dangerous persona that mirrors his own.
Russell Simmons was one of his mentors too. What is Russell Simmons going through? He's going through women saying that he was abusive, women saying that they raped him, women saying that he drugged him.
Another celeb who jumped to Diddy's defense is Jermaine Dupri, who didn't hesitate to label the raids unnecessary, suggesting that the authorities were making a mountain out of a molehill. For Dupri, the raid was just another chapter in the saga of wealthy celebrities who often find themselves under scrutiny for no good reason. He was quick to remind fans that powerful figures like Diddy regularly face legal challenges, but that doesn't mean they're guilty of anything, especially not Diddy, the man known for turning every party into an unforgettable event.
Federal government is doing doing the raid. They must have something on him. You think he did it? You think he did anything illegal?
I don't buy it. I don't think so.
Who's to say he's not just saying that because he's seen Diddy pull a fast one a few too many times? But although Dupri said all that back in May, now that things have taken a turn for the worse, we haven't heard a lot from him. Whatever Dupri might be feeling, multiply it by 1,000 bottles of baby oil, and we probably wouldn't be any closer to capturing what Diddy himself might be going through. It must have been quite a shock landing in jail after so much time at the helm of a billion-dollar empire, rubbing shoulders with the most influential people across industries. Diddy did have an extremely expansive network. I mean, he even had ties with Anna Wintour, Vogue editor-in-chief and fashion's notorious Ice Queen. When Diddy first entered her orbit years ago, he quickly recognized her as a key figure in shaping his fashion empire. He has often hailed her as a guiding figure on his journey, with her seal of approval opening countless doors in an industry that would have been difficult to penetrate.
How are you doing?
Hi, thanks for coming.
Diddy made waves in the fashion scene when Anna featured him in the pages of Vogue, a move that instantly elevated his profile and solidified his status as a style influencer. Their collaboration peaked in 2010 when Anna lent her voice to Diddy's album Last Train to Paris. She introduced track 2 with, "This is Anna from Vogue magazine. You are now listening to the Last Train to Paris." Seriously, who doesn't Diddy know? Critics have begun to question Anna's ties to Diddy, suggesting that her influence has helped him craft an image of trustworthiness. When Paris Fashion Week rolled around, all eyes were on Anna Wintour, but she has remained silent, refusing to engage in discussions about Diddy. Reports suggest that she is furious about being dragged into this controversy, hinting at the discomfort of having her carefully curated image associated with Diddy's mounting troubles. What's raising a few eyebrows though is how Diddy's industry bestie hasn't said a single word. Diddy and Jay-Z have been tight since their early days on the hip-hop scene over 30 years ago. In 1997, they teamed up for Diddy's debut album, No Way Out, and the connection wasn't just musical, it was deeply personal.
Wait, reverse the tape. How much money can one nigga make in one plate?
Over the years, as their empires expanded into music, business, and beyond, they stayed thick as thieves, always showing up for each other. From attending lavish parties to standing by one another at public events like DJ Khaled's Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony in 2022, their loyalty seemed unbreakable. Joe Rogan suggested that chances are high that when Diddy has his back against the wall, he may start spilling names to avoid spending the rest of his life in jail. And we may get to hear some of these names we mentioned. People who were part of Diddy's freak-offs, especially his inner circle, who may have known what was really going on, may be on high alert, wary of making rash moves. What are your thoughts? Think it's as simple as having a reputation to protect? Or did these guys play a much bigger role than we think in all the drama surrounding Diddy? Let us know in the comments below.